Who's your lady friend? Who's the little girlie by your side? I say, Sam, I ain't seen
You're
him
live
before.
on camera.
I ain't seen him before. I'm waiting for Bragi to turn up. So I'm filling in. This is called an interlude. Hello, hello. Who's your lady friend? Who's the little girlie by your side?
It's definitely being edited out of the video.
I don't know. It takes all the fun out of it.
We've got nobody watching yet.
Oh,
So hello, what are you going to talk about now, Egil?
I don't know. Well, I was talking.
Why did Vikings wear the Thor's hammer?
Well, it was a sign of respect for the gods. It's a sign of strength and power. And you could call it a pagan crucifix if you like.
I wonder how many have been produced in the world since the Viking times.
Loads.
Millions.
I've actually got a hammer Thor from the Viking times.
Well, you have to bring that because show on camera. I try to adjust the camera with my foot.
Ah,
There we go.
that's not an earth tremor, folks.
We don't get earthquakes often in the UK, and if you do, you don't often feel them.
Ah.
I remember the last one.
Yeah, I remember the last one. I was in bed.
I was in bed as well.
And it was Cavcore.
It was about 1 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it?
That's it. And it felt like you were falling. And
Yeah.
you think, hang on, this is a bit odd.
I bet that's the nearest action you've had to your bed for a long time.
Well, no, actually, because
Oh, right. Tell a lie.
before we had the fences put up, somebody stole a car and ran it into the side of my building.
Oh, did they? Oh, right.
That was quite...
Early in the morning.
it was about 8 o'clock at night because there was a load of policemen chasing them.
Yeah,
They got them.
I think you just gave away your address on camera. In the future, you're going to have millions of people heading to where you possibly may live.
Well, you may kiss my ring, you loyal subjects. There's 1 or 2 flats there, mate, you know. Take your choice.
Mate, how many people know you there as Egil the Viking?
Most of them.
Wait until you get famous on YouTube and you're the most famous man in Derby.
Apparently, before they knew I did all this, I was known as Simon the Viking.
People call me Andy the Viking.
Yeah.
My name's not to be secret, really. But
I must admit, when I was digging in Wales, they thought I looked like Meatloaf.
Now, I wonder if we are public, because nobody's watching so far. But sometimes if you have the settings as unlisted, it won't go public and live.
All right.
Which is why we did the first live stream when we started refilming again. We had no viewers, and I basically shared it on Facebook and got a few questions for you.
All right.
It's all right, that talk, but it's a bit scratchy, isn't it?
Tell me about it.
But it's not bad for the money we paid. And it is gold plated, so you do own something with gold.
The money you paid.
The money I paid. Channel paid that.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of talk for... I mean, why did they wear neck talks and silver rings around the neck? Because we find that today very strange, don't we?
Well, the point is, it's due to the fact that, say you've got 300 silver pennies, every so often you have to have them remade. So the king would take a third,
Yes.
the monies would take a third, and the rest you can have.
What about the other 10%?
Well, what you did, you made them into jewellery, bangles,
Bracelets.
bracelets, necklets, and things like that. Not only did you look cool,
Yeah.
you weighed them up. And if it balanced, fair enough. If it didn't,
I've got somebody watching now.
Oh,
So I'll go and look at the old chat, see if anybody says hello. So we are live. I was worried there. I didn't put I didn't click the live setting. Oh, they're gone now. Oh, look at that.
Well, it's nice to see you anyway.
Yeah, see you nice.
Have a good evening.
Have a nice weekend.
Who was it?
I don't know.
Ah,
When you get somebody watching, they don't give you a list of names of who's watching.
Ah.
The only way you can find out is when they leave a comment in the little comment section. And because we now use the YouTube app direct rather than before when we use an app called Streamlabs, this YouTube, I know it goes over your head, doesn't actually show the chat.
you probably realise by now, I am the eye candy. I'm not the brains. This is the brains. He knows. He comes out with a lot of ideas. I just turn up and do it.
I do that, and Egil does something. Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it?
Well, indeed.
Anyway,
Would you imagine? They were 20 years ago when we first met, or 22. Could you imagine 22 years ago being on Teddy as regular as this?
No, I'll be honest with you.
It's a sword falling down. It's all right.
Jesus. When I was your age, computers we saw on Star Trek.
Oh, yes.
Or the Man from U.N.C.L.E. They're great big things.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
And they used to bang out strips of paper with holes in
They
it.
should do another program called The Woman from Auntie.
Yeah. Oh, I used to like Ilya Kuryakin and Napoleon.
Going over my head now, that is.
Yeah.
Before my time.
Uncle and Thrush.
Yeah, I never watched them either.
Yeah.
And Blake Seven, what's all that about, Egil?
I met him.
What, Blake?
Yeah. I wasn't impressed, but yeah, he was doing a filming for Regia, and he didn't get the Viking joke. I'll tell you off camera.
I was watching a strange. I recently subscribed to BritBox for a month for free.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really worth subscribing like $5.99 for the whole service because you don't get a great deal on that subscription service. But I was watching this 1980s early drama program where this like magical. It's a bit like Merlin. It was like in the times of the early Anglo-Saxons. It was like sent back into the future. And
Past.
I don't know if you know her. I can't remember what it's called. It begins with a C. It was very good so far. He's like a magician, and he's like on this farm.
Cat
Weasel. That's it. Did you ever watch that?
I heard about it. I have seen a couple of it because he's got a pet frog or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a bit mad.
Yeah.
But I thought it was quite interesting to see a program bringing somebody back from the Dark Ages to the future.
That series was on Channel 81.
Channel 81.
Not long back. I remember it as a kid, but I never seemed to catch it. But yeah, it's the fellow who played the Crow Man in Wurzel Gummidge.
Oh, yeah, right, was it? Yes. Did you catch the new Wurzel Gummidge?
Nah.
They're rubbish, they were. Never beat the original.
The one with Eunice Stubbs in it. She was Aunt Sally.
It makes you think how old is the practice of scarecrows?
Oh, it goes back, way beyond.
I think it goes back to the Iron Age. We're putting out scarecrows in the field. It makes sense, doesn't it, really?
Well, if you've seen pigeons, you send on a field of corn. I mean, when I used to go shooting, I shot a pigeon.
Yes.
I opened its crop and I had enough peas to hold in my hand.
I've heard that.
That is one pigeon. And there was a flock of about a dozen.
Oh, yes. I mean, just go in Derby and put a load of seeds down on the ground in the marketplace and you'll be done for litter pickering.
Now, pigeon's nice to eat, but you don't want to eat pigeons that live in the city.
Woodland pigeon.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Well, that's the pigeon I shot. But, I mean, you get a pigeon, tastes nice. And before you animal rights people come in, I eat meat, so what?
Well, you know, I think eating meat's good for you. I mean, anybody that doesn't like bacon is clearly wrong there.
Well, if you think about it, if there was a law you couldn't eat meat, all those pigs, all those cows, all those sheep would have to be killed because you can't let them wander around.
Well, no, I mean, you can't let a bunch of cows run around doing what they want. They'll get up to mischief, won't they?
And then, of course, there's wild boars running around in Kent. There's deer running around in Derby.
I mean, we've still got wild boars running around in the UK today, don't we?
Yeah, God, I love wild boar meat.
Did you eat my boar sausage?
Yeah. Well, no, I've got them actually in the freezer.
Why? Saving it for Christmas, are you?
Well, yeah, because usually, don't know what it is. They've got venison. I eat venison.
Yeah.
But you ask about wild boar, it's like you've exposed yourself. They're pathetic. Come on, Derby, wake up. We want wild boar.
Oh, yes, and venison and...
well, venison.
Squirrel burgers.
I don't fancy that, but I mean...
It's lovely.
I do eat venison.
It's very venison-y. It's squirrel.
Well, it's gamey, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you cook it with some bacon around it because it needs a bit of fat.
No, we just shoved it on the ramrod and cooked about 4 of them.
Yeah, I've heard people eating squirrel. My late brother-in-law used to eat it. And he'd eat anything. He used to fry the rind off blue Stilton. Yeah,
another thing I was thinking the other day, how easily and how much we take water for granted.
Yeah.
And when you think about, 1,000 years ago or more, when, your water wasn't that safe unless you're lucky you lived near a spring that wasn't contaminated.
Well, this is why you drank ale and cider and things like that.
Just a thought, I was just sitting in the kitchen, spending a few minutes thinking, and it's just a thought, the powerful thought came over me, how wonderful and how marvellous it is. We can just turn a tap on.
Yeah.
And just get water out your tap.
Well, I mean, you see a nice cool stream, you drink it, a sheep has urinated in it, you've got a curus. That's the one that eats through your liver and comes out your eye, your nose, and various other orifices. And you wouldn't know until it happened.
Now, one fact about the UK, England, is that's where we come from, is that we have 2 taps. We don't have a uniform 1 tap system with like a knob for both hot and cold. Now, why is that, Egil?
I don't know. I have seen it where you've got 1 nozzle, but you got 2 taps. There's various firms advocating it from iced water to boiling water, but yeah, it's useful to have a hot and a cold, isn't it?
Yeah, but the reason why we have 2 taps in the UK because our main water system we should be using is the cold water.
Yeah.
Your hot water isn't drinking water, so that's why you have 2 taps. Now we've got a comment here, and somebody's now watching at last. So give me a minute as I bend over. This is Chris Sigurdsson, I believe. So just have a look, and it says, "Bro, who knit your hat, Bubba?"
Who nicked my hat?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. We're coming towards the end of filming, and I'm sort of preparing to get back into 21st century clothing, and I tie my hair back. So
Yes.
come clean with you. See, I'm honest, if nothing else.
Gradually, as we get towards the end of filming, Egil slowly takes his kit off. First of all, will come off the leg bindings, and you know, it's not in a saucy way. He just wants to save time so he can get back quicker. But let's face it, you got another hour to walk back home until you can get your bus pass sorted. Which we've got to look into that really seriously, get that sorted for you.
Also got to go stop at the co-op and get some food for tea.
But have you got any question, Chris, about Vikings or Viking reenactment? Let us know.
Yeah.
We'll be here for about half an hour and then we'll be going. It's just another bonus live stream. And so that we can get in the habit of doing them.
Magic trick.
Yeah.
See, look at me. There.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Where's that? Magic.
And it's back again.
Now, I've got to go because I hear my father Magnus shouting me, so I'm going to go for a minute.
So I'm going to sit and look stupid until he comes back.
Talk about swords. People love them.
This is a sword. It's an offensive weapon. It's actually quite pleasant. It's a reenactor's one, and you can tell the origin of the sword by the shape of the pommel. The pommel balances the blade. It's also used in close quarter. You can knock people's teeth out with it and things like that. Now, a triangular one like that would lend itself to suggest that we're talking about an English sword. There you go, that's another English type. Norwegian, oh sorry, I'm leading it the garden path. That's Norwegian, and that's English. Different shapes and sizes. Danish tend to look like a loaf of bread. That's just a rough rule of thumb. I'm actually just filling in time at the moment while Bragi gets back. But it's an elitist weapon. You have to be of a certain social rank. Oh dear, he's not cleaned that very well. I hasten to add, this dirty sword blade is Bragi's, not mine. But the scabbard itself is actually a sheepskin lined, 2 bits of thin wood, then that's covered with wet leather. Then you have what's called the shape, the top, the throat, and the base. And Bragi's back now, so anybody wanting the sword clean, remind him, keep it clean. I'll just pop that one back.
Pattern welded.
We have a pattern welded sword and a very inaccurate scabbard.
No, I think that's all right. The scabbard.
It's appalling. Anyway, this is called pattern welded because it's made of twisted rods, heated and treated, and has a very sexy pattern on it. I think this is early Saxon, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be an early blade or early Viking. The early Viking or pre-Viking culture blades, the Vendel blades were shorter.
The thing I've got against this is this horrible scabbard. Oh, it's broken.
Yeah.
There's this scabbard. I think it's appalling.
Do you think it's too bulky?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that aspect of it. Well, I didn't make it, so.
You're onto sheepskin sheath, and then 2 thin pieces of wood, and then cover that with leather.
Yeah, well, the wood is normally shaped and structured around the blade.
Yeah. But I think, you know, a good sword like that is being ruined by a bad scabbard.
But I think that scabbard is bigger simply because of the value of the blade. I mean, let's say the blade's worth, what, £500 to £1,000? So I think that's why it was made that way.
Whatever.
I think we'll update it in the future.
Yeah, well, who knows?
The shape on it is too big.
We may be able to get our own ones made.
Oh, yes. And we've got more viewers watching. Let me just go look at the questions before I disappear downstairs again.
He keeps going downstairs. I think he's got a woman down there.
Oh, yeah.
What we got?
So no more questions at the moment. We've got 3 people watching. That's fine.
Okay, well, Bragi's going to disappear
In a minute.
again in a minute, which leaves me with egg on my face because I don't know what to do.
Well, we can talk about anything. What Vikings-wise? How did you get into reenactment?
When I was at university, I did my degree and I was at a loose end. And at the time, Jorvik Viking Centre had a reenactment group led by the great Pete. And it was more craft based, but it was a place where they just said, okay, you know, have a go, made the clothes, and it was more craft based. I was a bone carver and it was great fun. And then due to lack of funds, because I hadn't got any money, I had to come back to Derbyshire and I met with a guy called Tyrkir.
Oh, yes. Well, Tyrkir, as I call him. Hello.
And I joined Derby Group, and that's how it sort of progressed from there on.
Oh, don't forget Njal.
Oh, I remember Njal. I mean, it was the Bay Horse we met when I was introduced to them, and I have fond memories of the Vikings in York. There were 13 members called Simon.
That's his real name.
Yeah, there was Simon the Anaconda. That was when he was kissing his girlfriend. He stuck his tongue down her throat, and I said, "Look like an anaconda." There was Simon the Wookiee, who's my mate, Cy Bachelor, and I can't remember what they called me. Wasn't anything rude, but 13. There's about 20 of us.
We've got some more comments here, so let's go through these. So, Rich Hitch, he says, OMG, Viking royalty before my eyes. Hi, guys. You good? Oh, yeah, we're fine, thanks.
We're groovy, baby.
Always are. And Rich says, where can I get a decent Thor's hammer silver pendant from? Gentlemen, any ideas? Cheers.
Where is he from?
Where are you from in the world? That's the first question we need to know.
Because if you're in England, I got my particular one I wear all the time, this one. I got it from the Viking Centre in York. It was some years ago. But people like Tyrkir, not Tyrkir.
He's from England.
All right. There are lots of Viking reenactment groups who make hammers of various sizes. You can have the big jumbo one like this, or as I say, the silver one, and it depends on what you want to pay. There used to be English heritage shops, but they're not around anymore.
Well, I could think of a couple of traders. There's Jelling Dragon. They're very good.
Oh.
Some of the items are better than others, but they do have some nice Silver Thor's hammers.
Yeah.
And then you can go to Etsy, the site where people type, make handcrafted items.
Mm.
And there's a chap called Peris. That's Peris, repeated. I think he's from Germany, and he also makes very nice silver pendants. There's quite a few people on there on Etsy that do manufacture these items.
I wonder if you typed in on the computer, Viking jewellery.
Yeah, if you go to a man called Tillerman Beads, he makes Anglo-Saxon, prehistoric and Viking beads, but he also has for sale, I think it's about £13 a silver Thor's hammer, a copy of the one from Wrexham, and you get the 2 copies of the beads as well, and that's very good value. In fact, if you go to the channel and you type in Tillerman Beads, you should see a review on that video.
Would it help if you tapped in Regia Anglorum and asked them?
Yes, you could type in Regia Anglorum, and they'll have a list of approved traders you can go to. So
some of them are extremely good, like this guy who made this. Although I don't think he's in the Viking group anymore.
You could look for Grendel, that's Dave the Moneyer.
Oh, I remember him. Yeah.
Now, he's a very good silversmith. Now, you will pay a great amount of money for his work because it will be really nicely handmade. And you could also talk to him and have him make what you want. So I believe he's still going as Grendel. So if you type in Grendel as in from the story, and you type in Dave the Moneyer, and you may find his website. I hope he's still going because he's a lovely chap, is Dave, and I got a few of his items.
I got a pendant off him, but my ex ran off with it.
I'm trying to think. There's that many traders. That's a problem.
Yeah. Copy to regular Glorum. There's a whole list of them.
I often find traders by looking up reenactment groups in the UK, and then I'll look at their links, and often they will have.
It depends
traders.
what you want, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Whether it's shoes or jewellery or clothing.
Yeah, well, if you want a nice, decent Thor's hammer in silver.
Yeah.
And also, you can go on eBay. I bought a really nice Thor's hammer. From Lithuania, and it was a vintage one from the 1960s, and that was about £15-20. And for the money with the silver chain, I thought that was very good value.
I've got one from the 10th century.
Oh yes.
I've also got a brooch and a bangle as well.
And you can't beat making your own as well. I made a few.
I couldn't even make a mistake on that bad.
Well, we'd have to record that. It would make for a most funny video. Now, watch Egil burn down the longhouse when he tries to make a Thor's hammer.
What I think I want to make and what turns out are very, very different. I think a lot of it is patience, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't have any patience.
This is one of the things we keep. So he's from books from England. This is one of the things we keep thinking about doing, is doing a list of approved traders. And of course, you also got the Viking Society. So type in the Vikings. Is that the NS? What's the?
Yeah. Norse Film and Pageant.
Yes, and they may have a list of approved traders.
There's bound to be a load of them.
So Richard, thank you. I will check them all out.
Happy hunting.
It says, are all your tattoos Vikings themed, Egil?
Yeah.
Any more planned? Perhaps little one on the face.
No facial or hands.
Back in a minute.
Or neck. I've got Saxon. Sutton Hoo reputations on it. I am having an ermine sill, looks like an upside down hammer, on the space I've got on my back. Them for my religious things. I've got Sutton Hoo dragons on my back as well, and I've got the wolves on my legs down there. Various other bits. If I show you that, we'll probably get banned for pornography. But I've got them all over. Very good tattooist in Derby, down the Wardwick, good fella. And it's just something that appeals to me. I was late in life getting tattoos. I've got the Sutton Hoo ravens, and there's a design on here and on the hips, on the legs, down my back. Got quite a few. I think it's about 30. I haven't counted them. But yeah. Anyway, I can't read that until Bragi gets back, so bear with me. That's why I ramble on. I don't know where it keeps disappearing to, but no doubt he shall return in the midst of time. And we're getting close to my going home time, because I've got to walk quite a way and I've got to get stuff from the shop. But yeah, as you realise, I'm rambling and just waiting for him to come back so I can see your comments. But as I say, I mean, you know, doing this in this pandemic, try and keep safe. I know people say in England here is, oh, you can do this, that and the other. Just be careful. Can't be too careful. I've already lost people who, you know, and life's too short, so try and be safe. And I can hear him coming back now. As I say, this is what's called filling in, and I can hear his footsteps coming. He's back again. I think he's on elastic.
No, I just put him. Sorry,
there's comments up there.
I just put my dad to bed. Magnar's gone to bed. That's my father.
Sleepy boy.
He's 89. He's got dementia.
Ah.
So, Richard, the ones I can see look awesome. You must be talking to your tattoos.
Yeah.
And we have a comment here from Sebastian Kite. Where there are any good-looking Vikings, and should snuff be banned?
Snuff?
Tobacco snuff. I assume he's talking about.
Snuff's all right.
Tobacco snuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's up to you. You know, it's a freedom of choice. Any more Viking?
I think it's nice. Well, no, I think it's nice you can go in a pub and take tobacco snuff if you want.
Well, it doesn't offend that way. Some people just walking in the room, they're offended. It's like this professional culture of, oh, I don't like that. Well, you know, one finger extended, mate, to those people.
Oh, each their own.
Yeah, you know, if you don't want to like what I do, don't come near me. I won't miss you. And if, you know, that's the way of it.
It's like when you're filming in public and people complain about appearing on camera. Well, don't stand in front of the camera.
Oh, bugger off.
Yeah, go somewhere else, Mr. Policeman. Anyway, moving on.
Coppers are all right.
Right, yeah. So, so any more comments? We'll keep going. Bless you, Bragi. You're a good man looking after your dad. Do you and Egil live far from each other?
Quite a way, actually.
Yeah, it's about 3 miles.
Yeah.
What's that, 9 leagues?
It takes me about an hour to walk to this place.
And we have a comment here from Brian Cateran. So hello, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
And he says, hello, hi everyone. And 4 thumbs up.
Oh.
So I've got to get on my knees just to read these comments.
Cheers, bro.
Oh, it's always nice to have new people. We've got 6 people watching and 5 likes.
All right, well, that's better than a poke in the eye with a salami.
Hopefully, if you film next week, we'll do another live stream.
I'm getting backache.
Do you want to stand up for a little bit?
Go on. Oh,
Hang on, I've got to adjust the camera.
I think my britches might fall down.
Well, we won't show that on camera, Egil. I don't think people want to see you in your demi shorts.
My demi briefs from a famous retailer who shall remain nameless.
I know one subscriber would like to see that. That's Pernilla from Sweden.
Okay.
She would love to see you in your pants.
Oh, sounds like I'd like to see her in hers.
No, she wants to know what demi-johns are.
Oh,
Demi
trunks. Demi trunk. It's sort of like shorts, hot pants.
We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Did Vikings and the Anglo-Saxons have underwear?
We don't know. I think they had cloths, but I doubt it. I mean, women didn't wear underwear until Victorian times.
What I don't understand is that we've got the under tunic, the underskirt all. So how come we don't get under pants, under breeches?
I think they had sort of like a length of cloth, maybe. Depends on what you could afford.
No, there's at least 2 accounts from the Sagas that talk about them wearing under trousers.
Yeah,
so to me, I think they'd be like, your Victorian underwear, just like I can't remember the drawers. They'd be like drawers for men. There
were some trousers we found with like a U shape at the front, where your gentleman bits hang out.
Oh, yeah.
And you wear this, so it's a modesty. I don't know.
It's a bit like the cod piece. The bigger you got, Interesting.
Pen cap in my case.
So, Milkman, how'd you go? 3 miles. So that's Milkman, one of our regular commenters. Indeed. He leaves hilarious comments, and some days I'm in stitches when I read them. So he's a great fan of the channel. When we've got a comment here from Rich Hitch, get an electric scooter and dress it up like a longship, Egil.
Yeah, mate. The only thing I want is a car. I can drive, but it's expensive running a car.
I know, I can't afford to get my car on the road at the moment. I just can't justify it.
Same here. And I can walk most places.
Yeah, I don't mind walking. Walking's good for you.
Well, I do when it's raining.
You
I'd like to be able to go out to Matlock and all around the antique shops around there, but I'd
love to know something, you guys. What do you feel about us dressing in normal clothes when we go out filming in public, when we start doing more location filming? How do you feel about that?
Well,
I'd love to know what people's thoughts are. Well, I'm 50-50 on it. Some days I think, well, perhaps we should keep on the kind of unique sales point we got as dressing up as Vikings, but then again, it gets to the point when you're trying to dress up in towns as a Viking could be quite difficult.
Well, I thought the bit we did by the cathedral where I wore a suit, I quite enjoyed that.
Yes, you just gave away a world exclusive there that we filmed in public. That's none of those videos have been released yet, but recently when I had a dental appointment to put my tooth back in, I filmed Egil. I kind of thought he looked very much like a godfather on camera, wearing his suit and posh tie.
Is that euphemism for serial gear?
No, well maybe. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, he looks the part. And we've just done some of these vertical videos whilst in our town centre of Derby.
I must admit, I thoroughly enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
And I look forward to doing some more later on.
Well, these are the things that we can say for the future. I mean, fundamentally, I'll find it very difficult to travel far with my situation looking after my dad. So we've got 6 people watching, so that's great. Any more comments we can read? We do love reading your comments. We wish to disappear all the time, not disappear.
Getting near time, I think. But...
So Rich Hitch says, do you boys do reenactment?
Well, I used to. I don't any longer. Unless you count this as reenactment.
Well, that's one of the points I'm about to make. Is this class as reenacting? Because let's face it, during lockdown you couldn't really get away reenacting. So are we not reenacting on camera doing this? I don't know. I sometimes think we are. Some days I think we're not.
I find this far more enjoyable than going to a windswept field in the middle of nowhere to have the bejesus beaten out of us.
Well, let's face it. I mean, when you're going away and you've got a lot of stuff to take, it takes a lot of planning to go away for a weekend.
Well, you've got your spare clothes, you've got food to take.
Your tent,
if you've got one.
Well, yeah, I've got a few tents. But have you ever noticed when you go to a reenactment, you pack your car's packed wonderfully, everything's organised, and you just get everything in. But when you go back home and you pack your car, it just goes in anyhow, and you struggle to get it all back in. The amount of times I've had to take my car load out and reload it again.
I've enjoyed doing it, but you go and you have a battle when you turn up, get sloshed at night. Have a hot dog or whatever and tell everybody how great you are. Collapse in the heap, wake up in the morning.
You'd be barking mad on that.
Cup of coffee and then out a fight and then pack away and off you're home.
I remember going to reenactments and still be drinking at 6 in the morning and having to get up at 7.
I remember trying to catch the stars.
You think to yourself, God, I'm hungover again during the battle.
I enjoyed the times we went away. It could be a bit vexing when it was pouring with rain, but no, it's just I enjoy this better than what we're doing.
I think there's a myth about wet events. Because we've always been led to believe that, the wet events, the events where you go and it rains non-stop, and you end up in 6 inches of mud are the worst. But sometimes they can actually be the best events.
I don't know. I remember I went to somewhere in Scotland, and it rained and it was near Edinburgh.
Oh yes.
I think it was Launceston Castle.
Yeah.
And somebody with a Land Rover was trying to pull cars out. We ended up, my mate Rob, this other guy, staying in lodgings.
Yes. Camera.
I turned up, I hadn't shaved for about a week, looking disreputable, and she sort of looked funny. Then this guy, he got no neck.
What, no neck?
No, John.
Or
do
muscle?
you remember John?
Vaguely.
Yeah. Well, he turned up and he was wearing these jeans that ended at the knee, and she looked horrified. Then Rob came in, oh well, I'm awful. And it was quite funny to see the look on her face. But
that just reminds me of that guy out of He-Man, the one with no neck who used to bounce around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was the guy. I remember we were in line, fighting, and he had an axe, and he went back, whacked me at the side of that bloody head. And I had to move away from him because he kept hitting me on the head.
Should we do some combat videos next week, Egil?
I'll watch.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to encourage Njal or Tyrkir to do some with us and not have you do the combat.
I don't mind a bit of combat, as long as you don't go crazy over it.
Well, no, we'll go back crazy.
Do you remember some of the places we went where a certain reenactment group let themselves down by beating 7 bells out of each other?
Yes, well, I remember on a few occasions when we were doing later periods, and if you ever end up with an officer you don't like, you just all decide the whole regiment to just drop dead in the battle. And suddenly, there'd be 40 men just die in one cannon shot. And then the officer, he'd be like a lieutenant or a captain, would be like crapping himself, thinking, I just lost my left flank. And think, thanks, guys. And, that'll teach you, won't it, mess with us?
It's not that much different than the TNA, mate.
How do you think reenactments has changed since your first time of doing it to today?
Well, the very first experience I had with people doing reenactment was when I joined the Tolkien Society. And there was these amazing guys. They made mail out of coat hangers.
Oh, yeah.
the early stages they had swords done, and that was very impressive to see that. And then of course when I joined Regia Anglorum, sensibly they got rules and regulations which you had to abide by, and some of the stuff is fantastic to see.
You want to let folks know what Regia Anglorum is?
Regia Anglorum is a Dark Age reenactment society where not only do they do battles, which you have to be trained for, but they have things like monks who have a scriptorum. There are nuns.
Oh, yes.
Cooking. One of our pals, Lynn.
Oh yes, Lynn was a great cook.
Great cook. So was Alan Barrow.
Yes.
And we had some good feasts actually. And it's researching Dark Age history. Dark Age, basically early Anglo-Saxon to the conquest. You find areas, it's weird, wasn't it? Some areas were all Viking, some areas were all Saxon, and some were all Norman. And it's just bizarre. I mean, down south, Norwich,
Yes.
they were all sort of Normans.
Yes.
And it's just a strange thing.
I always tell you to look at camera. Because Egil doesn't watch YouTube. You don't have internet, do you, Egil?
No.
So because of your poverty situation, I mean, not nice. I mean, it's never nice being poor, is it? He can't afford internet, so he can't get to watch himself on camera.
I probably could now, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, well, at some point we'll sort you out when you get an income from
Hello.
it. And
Have we got any more?
this sounds like you're a train spotter there.
Well, nothing wrong with trains.
I bet you met a few in your time.
Yeah, I worked in the industrial.
Do they all wear anoaks? Is that a myth?
Yes, they do.
And do they have
Do
a
you know
flask?
what's worse than train spotters?
What?
Bus spotters.
Bus
They're-
spotters?
They are even worse. They are jam-packed full of pointless facts.
Yes, I got a book somewhere. I used to keep book registrations when I was a kid.
Well,
Used to get on the school to
these
bus.
are 30-year-old people. The
Yeah.
nearest they got to having an affair was when the midwife slapped them on the bottom.
Of course, midwife is a very old word. Midwife.
Yeah.
Anglo-Saxon again. Oh, amazing what influence they have had.
I mean, I can remember I was at the Transport Museum and somebody was saying about the paint.
Yeah.
And I thought, cream and green. No, they were talking the numbers that the paint is.
Paint by numbers. That
Yeah.
used to be a thing, didn't it?
No, this was S83845 or something. And they knew exactly what they were saying. And I just thought,
It's bound to be a green colour, that one.
yeah, I don't know. But it's horses for courses. I mean, yes, it's annoying.
What would be the Viking equivalent? A longship watcher.
I don't know.
Keeping an eye on different longships. Well, that longship's got a bigger prow.
It's weird that, I mean, bus fanatics were far worse than train spotters. Having said that, to be fair, without these people, we would have lost such a lot.
Too right.
Doesn't matter that it happened in my lifetime. 60 years from now, the knowledge that these people have got will live on. Good luck to them. Same with the railway people. We've learned so much from them. If you think about it, what we've learned about the Vikings as sort of a lot. When I was a student, the winged spear,
Oh, yes.
they had no idea what they were for.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I joined Regia, it was for hooking.
And for hunting as well.
Yeah. And also, but there are crazy ideas they came out with. And it's,
But it makes sense to add wings to your spear. I mean,
Yeah.
it really does.
but you know what I mean? It's through people like that who probably think we're weird. Horses for courses,
But would you add wings to a javelin? I don't think you would.
I don't know.
I think a spear and a javelin are just two different things, two different purposes.
Let's just hope we never have to find out.
Oh, yes. If we go back to the territory of living like Mad Max, then at least we got a good Viking army to start off with.
Well, I'd have to come down here to do it.
Oh, yeah. Well, what would you prefer? Mad Max universe or zombies?
Yeah, well, whatever.
Did you know that Derby Council, I do believe I spent money on looking at judging the situation if there was a zombie apocalypse, and quite a few councils have done this for various situations like meteorites and
Wouldn't surprise me in the least.
amazing how they waste money.
Yeah, me and politicians, oil and water.
Oh, yes. Right, let's have a look at the comments. We are going to go soon because Egil's got to go home and he'll start getting more grumpy
Yeah, I'm
as
getting grumpy now.
as the longer he stays on video.
Yeah,
So-
I know, it's a bloody long walk.
Now, we've got a comment here. Rich Hitcher, don't leave Egil. I'll give you a lift home if you want. We weren't as many leagues away. Oh, that's very kind of you,
Thank
Rich.
you.
And Rich says, yeah, go in normal clothes. Your videos are informative and don't rely on themed dress, although it is a great added feature. Oh, thanks for that.
That's a good
Yeah,
compliment.
I like that. It soothes
Yeah.
my mind a bit.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 hearts from Brian Ketteran. So
Mhm.
thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
And Rich Hitch, you guys are cracking me up. Zombies are coming, laugh out loud. Well, we do
Yeah.
try to be funny. And I
Yeah.
think, you know, I think we have this sense of humour between us because of our long-lasting friendship,
Yeah.
you know.
We've known each other a few years, haven't we?
Well, 1999 I first met you,
Yeah.
I think. It might be 98.
Could be.
So Milkman says, how do you guys personally sharpen your knives and swords?
I don't have a person who does it for me.
I do all the sharpening. Well, there's a couple of methods. Sometimes I'll use a proper sharpening wheel, and because I am an engineer by trade, so I can grind tools and so forth.
I'm a cack-handed moron by trade.
But I also have a couple of stones. I've got a diamond sharpener I still use. I've got quite a bit of sharpening to do on chisels and stuff. But I'm pretty good on the grinding wheel. So Treve Tales, greetings from the future.
Hi.
Saturday morning here.
Oh, right.
That's the chap in Australia.
Oh,
Treve, hello Treve.
good day, mate.
Yeah, so we'll just hang out a couple of minutes before he goes. He's got to go in a minute.
Yeah.
So Finwraith, how do you guys become friends? If you have been friends since 99 or 98, have you been friends almost as long as I have been alive?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we did fall out once, but I've always said in life that good friends fall out and make back up, where bad friends fall out and never make up again, and never talk to each other.
Sounds a bit like
So,
something, you know.
you know, and I love Egil to bits, and likewise, and
Yeah, we get on
you know,
all right. We
have a laugh, don't we?
yeah.
So,
As I say, my bark is worse than my bite.
and Treve says they met in a pub.
Yeah.
We've been in a few pubs, haven't we?
Yeah, but I think we met on a battlefield.
It was a battlefield, yeah.
Mark Eaton Park, I think it was.
Because it was 1998, if I recall. I did Kirby Hall, the multi-reenactment event, and I met Gary Golding,
Yeah.
one of the Derby members.
I
Egil
remember,
knows.
I remember I got drunk there and I insulted the Wehrmacht.
Don't be doing that.
Scum.
We're better than, well, some of them do want insulting.
Yeah, because I said I was coming back as a Yugoslav partisan and I was going to kill them all.
There used to be this SS officer who used to go around thinking he was in the SS, and my mate Bob got up and knocked him out in one block. He had a thing about SS officers. He kept on knocking them out.
It was weird. I got on all right with the SS, but this guy in the Wehrmacht, he came in like this.
It was a big chap.
Quite big, he got glasses.
Yeah.
Thought he was God's gift to the universe, and I disabused him of that fact. Because, you know, he had a parade and everybody cheered. Well, this lot came along, and I just went, do, 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 and they just went, zoo.
I used to play that on a harmonica whenever my major walked past. Anyway, got a question here, relevant for you, Egil. So this is from Finwraith.
Hi, Finn.
Have you guys served in a real army?
Yeah.
Asking because I am wondering if I should try to serve in my country's army.
I had the honour of serving in the 3rd Battalion Worcestershire Sherwood Foresters, and I'm very proud of the fact that I did. I learnt a hell of a lot. It's not about shooting people or anything like that. I learnt what I could do, what I couldn't do, and what I would or wouldn't do. And that's a big difference. And I'm very proud to have been a member of the Worcestershire Foresters. They've now called the
Mercian
Regiment.
Yes.
But, you know, it's a good learning experience. You learn about yourself. And, okay, if there's a war, you have to go and fight. But, you know.
And do you want to explain what the Territorial Army is?
It's like the American National Guard. You're trained as a soldier. You do so many weekends. And in emergencies or war, you're taken into the main force. Yeah, you know, but if you're not into the military, don't do it. You know, you're either that kind of person or you're not.
If you can take orders, then that's going to be a great environment for you. And, you know, not enough is done in this country to support our soldiers. And the government should really be ashamed of themselves by not putting enough money into the army, especially after soldiers, you know, retire and leave the army. Like my uncle was a RSM, a very important man in the army, a regimental sergeant major. And, you know, he had a bad outcome in the end when he left the army because he was militarised. And, you know, I think we should thank people like Jim Davison in this country for standing up for our troops and actually raising money for a good cause and not wasting it to charity and paying some directors a big wage. So enough, that's me going on. So, but yeah, but should he join the army?
If you feel that you wish, I mean, is he from England?
I think he's from Finland, I think.
All right.
I might be, yeah, I think so.
Well, anyway, give it a try. At least...
Could be mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, some people are soldiers, some people aren't. I enjoyed my time. I loved it, and it broke my heart when I left. But, having said that, if you're not into military, don't.
Yeah, I think serving any military is a great thing to do. Warfare is never a good thing, but serving is a good thing. So a couple more comments to round this up. So Treve says, I didn't know you served Egil.
Yeah, loved it. I got mentioned in dispatches twice.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah.
you should have got some medals. So Rich Hitch says, be well, guys, and safe journey home, sir.
Yeah.
Egil. Love being able to chat on live. Hope you start doing more. Definitely looking forward to outside videos.
Yeah.
And Milkman says, experience that you'll never receive.
Yeah.
And Tree Tail says, that explains your passion for collecting medals.
Yeah.
And that is something we may introduce to the channel, or if not do it on a separate channel, is have Egil talk about medals.
Well, it's about the story behind the medals. I mean, even, you know, when you think our top award is a piece of bronze.
Yes.
You know, but the story behind it is phenomenal.
Yes. And Rich Hit says, help our heroes. Agreed,
Yeah.
Bragi. Oh, yes, we should definitely do more. My own personal, I did try to join the RAF when I was about 17, but because I wasn't brilliant with speaking at the time, because I didn't speak till I was 5, and I kind of not since then. That's why I speak fast. I was in special needs and for my speech, because I'm terrible with my R's and I speak too fast. So because I was a little bit behind, it wouldn't let me in the RAF. And I wanted to join the army, but my dad would not let me. He said, no son of mine is going to go to university and no son of mine is going to go and join the army. So I ended up in a job, in a situation which made me very unhappy for many years. And
look at you now.
Well, you know, life is life and you learn. And I made some good friends, but I got taken down a path I should not have gone down.
Yeah.
So be yourself and be true to yourself. Now we are going to go in a minute because Egil's got to go.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you guys for hanging about. If we film on Monday, I will try to do a live stream with Egil on Monday. If we do film it, depends on the weather, because at the moment it's been raining quite a bit in the UK, which is good for my plants outside.
But I've got web feet now.
And we're all thinking about starting a Viking gardening channel, because I love gardening and I know quite a bit.
Yeah, well, there you go.
You know, what we'll call it, the Viking Gardeners.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be something separate. I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
So goodbye, folks.
Bye. Thanks for all your time. We'll be back.
Stay groovy.
Woof woof.
Oh yes.
Right, I'll get me clothes.
Yes, Treve says thanks for coming over and chatting, Egil. You turned out good though, Bragi. Thanks again, guys. Well, thank you very much. You know.
Well, I mean, you don't want to run yourself down, man.
You know, if I could leave the world a better place, I've done well.
Well, you've had a lot to put up with, and you still have.
Well, I'm thick-skinned and I'm tough and strong. It's my Viking heritage. Brian says bye.
Bye.
Brian says also thank you, smiley face. And Treve says thanks, Bragi.
Right. I'm going to get changed now.
Yes, we won't show that on